The only light in the grotto came from the well. Ezra knelt before it, the cold cyan glow carving his face from the oppressive dark of the warrens. His hands trembled, submerged to the wrists in the viscous, conductive fluid that filled the repurposed cryo-tank. Every muscle in his back screamed as he leaned into the hum, into the ceaseless whisper of ghosts. This deep in the underbelly of New Syrtis, forgotten data bled from century-old conduits like resin from dead trees. The well was his tap, a monstrous, jury-rigged fusion of scavenged server cores, rusted heat sinks, and a fist-sized lump of bioengineered neural tissue that pulsed faintly at the tank's heart. It was an oracle of static and whispers, and for 6 months it had been his church, his torturer, and his only hope. He was hunting for one ghost in a sea of billions, his sister, Mira. "Come on, Mira," he breathed, the words lost in the grotto's damp air, thick with the smell of ozone and decay. Just a whisper, a fragment, anything. He closed his eyes, pushing his own consciousness into the torrent. It was like dipping his head into a waterfall of broken conversations and corrupted images. He felt the phantom panic of a stock trader as a market crashed 80 years ago, tasted the synthetic tang of a lover's celebratory meal from last week, saw a flash of a maintenance worker's final, terrified moments as a pressure door failed. Every dive left him with phantom pains and borrowed sorrows. Every dive scoured a little more of himself away, leaving him hollow. Tonight, the static was different, angrier. A shard of data, sharper and more coherent than the usual digital mist, snagged on his consciousness. It wasn't Mira. This ghost was cold, methodical, and armored. A jolt, not of data, but a pure malice, slammed into him. It was an active countermeasure, an old digital guard dog still mindlessly defending its territory. The monitors lining the grotto's walls flashed red, and the well's gentle hum climbed into a high-pitched shriek that vibrated in Ezra's teeth. His own neural tissue, the very thing that allowed him to interface, felt like it was being scraped raw. He tried to pull back, but the ghost had him, its encrypted barbs sunk deep in his consciousness. This was no random memory. This was a secret with teeth. Ignoring the blood that began to drip from his nose, he plunged back in, not with the finesse of a hacker, but with the raw, brutal force of a grieving man kicking down a door. He pushed with every memory of Mira's laugh, every ounce of his sorrow, using his own soul as a battering ram against the corporate ice. The ghost's defenses didn't just fracture, they shattered into a million screaming shards. For a single, horrifying moment, the static vanished. He wasn't in the grotto anymore. He was seeing through another's eyes, feeling another's terror. The scent of ozone and acrid chemicals, the hiss of a sealed door, the glint of a corporate enforcer's helmet. Then a woman's voice, not Mira's, but with the same Warren's dirt accent, choked out a single word. "Wait!" The memory cut out in a flash of searing white pain, not his own, but so vivid he screamed along with it. The echo faded, leaving behind a single indelible piece of information burned into his mind like a phosphor afterimage. Agrigen sterilization protocol. Sector 7. Target list. Mira Jensen. Proximity contaminant. The connection shattered. Ezra was thrown from the memory, collapsing backward onto the grimy floor, the ghost scream still ringing in his ears. He gasped for air, the world spinning in a nauseous blur of red and cyan. The well's shriek subsided to its familiar, placid hum. The grotto was silent again, save for his own ragged breaths. He hadn't found her ghost. He had been forced to witness its creation. She hadn't just disappeared, she had been sterilized, a loose end silenced by the flash of an enforcer's weapon. The sorrow that had fueled him for months curdled into something else, something cold, hard, and terrifyingly clear. He slowly pushed himself up, his limbs aching. He looked down at the well. The glowing fluid was calm, its surface a perfect placid mirror. Reflected in it, the face staring back at him was no longer just that of a grieving brother. It was the face of a man who had felt the echo of the gunshot, and in doing so had been given a new, terrible purpose. The hunt for a ghost was over. The hunt for its killers had just begun.